And welcome into Championship Sunday. We have finally got here. My name's Wolfie2 in the booth with months and months. We've gone through a weekend, we've gone through qualifiers, but this is it. The top 8 teams find themselves into today, trying to find themselves the first champions of Rematch Esports.
Well, the first champions of North America, but we can get into that later. Look, it's been a wonderful journey to make it this far, and I'm hoping that that journey continues today because we've got some wonderful matchups. We've got some redemption arcs. We've got rematches in Rematch, and I'm really excited about that.
No, this is one of those days where I feel everyone's just getting ready, and I think the fans at home just waiting on pins and needles. But imagine the players coming into tonight, the brights being light, and this is where Voidbound, Vita FC will be the first ones on stream. But you know, for the first team to kick it off here on Championship Sunday, is there any added pressure there?
I don't know about added pressure. It might even be a bit of a relief. You don't have to wait. You don't have to watch. You can just get things started, get things rolling. These are two teams that have played before in the road to today. Of course, in qualifier number 1, Vita FC lost against Voidbound. They lost against Grindhouse, and they were subsequently knocked out of that qualifier. Well, in pools, in the main event, Vita FC beat Grindhouse, and now they're going to be going on to look to beat Voidbound as well in this main event when it really matters, on their way to hopefully a winning run if you're a fan of them or a player of theirs. So a little bit of pressure on them for sure, but I think it's probably more relief than anything.
No, Vita took some time to get themselves acclimated. They swapped wins and losses with Grindhouse, but the one thing I saw from them is that they never put their head down. This team came out, they showed an exemplary show of skill, but nope, 6 minutes finally on the table, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Championship Sunday.
Pressure on or pressure off, time will tell to see which of these teams succumb to said potential pressure. But for now, we do see Voidbound in the purple, Vita FC in the white, fittingly. And we'll see who strikes first in this matchup. And again, as we said, could be a bit of a relief to get started early. And just as it'll be a relief to get the game started early, it'll be even more so to get the goals scored early and get your team an early lead. A little bit of extra pressure off as we see a wing run and an early ball in. That shot was completely open. The keeper able to make the save.
Well, both these two keepers now getting tested as that one will find a way to the back of the net. Third time's a charm here for this squad as they get themselves with the first goal to kick us off here on mainstream.
Yeah, very quick counter-attack, and that just again, a bit of prio there. 3 defenders around him, still able to make contact on the ball, but the positioning was good. Those 3 defenders deeper than he was. Sort of needs someone goal side and someone in front looking for the pass, as that particular pass goes back to the keeper for now. But we're going to be looking to make the change. And oh, I was mistaken early on. It is Voidbound in the white, Vita in the purple. So it was Voidbound to strike first, and Vita looking to respond quickly. We'll see if they do so. Little self pass off the wall, a give. No go just yet, and Vita will have to wait for their opening goal of the Sunday.
Well, we saw them go for those crosses into the box quite a bit yesterday, but what really impressed me early on against Grindhouse was their ability to just be able to pass inside the box with small passes, work your way up the middle of the field. But, you know, one person that's going to have a long day is going to be Dran. There's a reason he had MVP yesterday multiple times, and that shot will not be able to go.
Another chance here. Another corner given plenty of space to work with, but couldn't find the pass. A quick upfield ball denied there by the cutout. Just given away again. So, Voidbound. Time and space and a switch is on. And lppy has a chance to set something up. He's opted for the early ball. It was a good run on the outside of the box, right on the edge of it. And it did result in a shot, but it was fairly toothless. Not a lot of venom in it, not a lot of power. The direction wasn't enough to trouble the keeper.
Well, and this is where I'm loving what Voidbound's doing. You see them doing a great job just holding on possession. One of the first interceptions we've seen here tonight. We saw him have a great day on the scoreline. Will be stopped there in his tracks. DirtyTauro getting his hands dirty there and, you know, trying to keep a clean sheet so far.
Oh, keeper dived, had to get back into position quickly, but the footwork threatening. Doesn't matter. Defender comes in, does get the block and the clear away, but it's only a momentary reprieve as lppy looks to put the foot down, but it's a heavy touch. And now the numerical advantage, the way of Vita. They've got space, and Bla's got time on the other side, but the direct shot takes away that time. And that space was an opportunity, I think they kind of pulled the trigger too early there. That was very much an opportunity, but denied, not necessarily by good defending, but just that decision being rushed a little bit.
Well, and that's where we're going. They're trying to get this goal by any way possible, and that's where they're starting to get to the progressions a little bit, but working right in. Beautiful pass, beautiful shot. Voidbound opening it up to a 2-goal difference.
That will open up the game a lot. Look, still 2 minutes 30 left to go. I would expect every time Voidbound get the ball, they might look to take an extra touch and an extra tick off the clock, but every time Vita get hold of possession, they're going to need to threaten. They're going to need to find themselves opportunities. But right now, on the defensive end, that'll go back to the keeper. They'll look to restart from the back. Another chance here for Vita to equalize. Should be cleared away. Heads down, and they are looking to commit numbers forward to Vita. So Voidbound down the other end, trying to take advantage. That ball to the backboard. Keeper does dive for it. I'll have a chance on the counter. Vita, see if they can be a little bit more calculated, a little bit more calm in this situation. The guy that gets has the cross, but he can't find a target, can't find a well-positioned teammate. And so they look to defend again. It's a 1v1 with the keeper, perhaps to seal the game. And they might have just done that. Just 90 seconds or less remaining. It's a good touch forward and a good touch to beat the keeper. Leader here, defending with their life. Pflare touch forward. Oh, shot direct, but these are surely just consolation efforts from Vita as they look to try to just find a little bit of extra pride, a little bit of extra momentum into game number 2, because it seems certain that they are going to have to respond next game as this one looks beyond them. As the keeper for Voidbound just runs the clock down with less than a minute, with 40 seconds, and less as I speak. Voidbound are going to look to run that score up. They're not worried about time saving at this point. This game is gone. It is done. It is dusted. If they can put the foot down and really humiliate their opponents, and they can really ensure that they don't believe in redemption. Let's not forget that Voidbound did beat Vita in qualifier number 1. So if they can manage to get a decisive victory here, which they have done, to be fair, but when they secure this decisive victory, it has to be on Vita as it goes to 4-0. We get that mercy rule.
Well, and this is where Vita, they took some time yesterday to get going, and I think for themselves, it might be a team in game number 1 where they're just trying to grab information. You're not trying to put your full cards out on display, but Voidbound coming in early and said, there's no void here, we're going to come in and be able to score the ball at a high clip there as a keeper grabbing the MVP, and for good reasons. We saw a great job here by Vita FC to be able to get good shots, just weren't able to come away with anything.
Yeah, it was tough for them. They had a couple chances early on, and then the goals went in, and suddenly they were restricted to those really direct counter-attack balls where they were really pushing everything forward, really risking at the back, which you have to do, right, at that point near the end. But it's really difficult because when you're in that position where you feel that urgency, you start snatching at the chances, and we saw a really good opportunity go begging where there was a completely wide open pass on the far post. Okay, it's not the easiest pass to pick out. It was sort of in that difficult area. Do I shoot it to him? Do I lofted long ball to him? Or do I cushion the long ball to him? And with all of that in mind, I don't hate the direct shot. In hindsight, it wasn't the perfect opportunity or the perfect decision in the end, but it did cost them. And it might have been an avenue back into the game, but an avenue back into the series here in game number 2. Voidbound taking game number 1 by storm. We'll see if Vita FC can respond.
Well, this is that game that they need to. Yesterday, we saw them lose game number 1 in a qualifying match where it's win or go home, and they were able to come big. I feel this team has the ice in the veins to get it done, but it's going to be where Dran has to keep that net clear. The beautiful save to start things off at the counterattack going back the other way.
Voidbound a chance, some footwork opens up the pass, but it's a little too far ahead of Ty. Does get to it, and unimpeded, open, free at the edge of the box, and that shot cannons off the crossbar and the post. It got a piece of that corner. They're not quite done yet, although they are now, as 15 pumps it upfield. lppy keeps the foot down, the pressure on, the pedal to the metal. It's a ping and cross across the box, but nothing doing just yet, and that ball will go the other way. Vita look to counter.
Well, it looked like a good chance there, but just didn't like his opportunity. Felt he was going to get blocked, and a good shot there. Top crossbar won't be able to go. Both these two keepers showing some excellence early, but which one of them will falter first? So this one's going to reset the offense here.
Well, a little piece of that ball from the defender as the keeper threw it out, but it didn't matter. Found its target. And the Voidbound keeper looks to move things on. lppy's got a good touch. Doesn't get tripped up by the slide there. Ball in, interesting pass. It's pinging around in the box. Difficult for Dran to follow, but the keeper kept an eye open to the danger and got the save as well, or the interception rather. But there's so much space for both teams right now. It sort of feels like a little bit of Russian roulette, or just roulette in general, as to who's going to score first. No one's really taken a fall just yet. lppy's got to make a defensive play, but the blade too strong. Straight into the top shelf, straight into the back of the net.
Cutting open the defense there and finally able to come in early. This is the type of retaliation that we were hoping for them, but so much space, too near him, but not enough. First lead for Vita. We'll see how long they can hold on, or can Voidbound be able to pop the balloon? That is their momentum here.
But 3 minutes 30 means plenty of time for both teams to work. But it's the response that Vita wanted. I'm going to see if they can push the issue. Giving it right back. It's a 1-2. It's unorthodox. A header surely doesn't have the power, and no. Keeper will take it away with relative ease. High up field, and Dran thought about coming for that. Would have been a little bit risky, but his defender there, nothing doing. And they do figure it out in the end. It's a good throw. Blunt, time, space, and a man free on the edge of the box to his left. It's not the pass they wanted, of course. Without taking control, that lofted, cushioned pass is going to be soft. It's a good rush out from Dran. Shut down the angle and shut down the shot.
What a job there to use that extra effort to not lose prio. I actually thought that may have been able to see the back of the net, but looks like they're going to try to hunt for a goal a little longer. The back pass here going to reset them, and I like this. Allow yourself to keep possession. Find an open man, as that's going to open up a play right here.
Ooh, chance here. But nothing again. Voidbound. Gonna push forward. They've got a 2v1 on the defense, but of course the goalkeeper relevant as well. I had an opportunity, but it was a heavy touch in the end of the corner, so 15 will take it away. Keeper will take control. Make sure things have slowed down. Keep things calm. Oh, it's only calm for so long. Voidbound not happy to let Vita have any kind of possession. And they are turning these interceptions into very quick counterattacks.
Well, and this is where they're just trying to continue pressing the issue. They know getting a second goal here could be the difference, and good pass there won't be able to find anyone into congested territory. But this is where Voidbound, their offense is slowed. I love the adjustment here for this defense. They're doing a better job marking their man, cutting off a lot of the passes inside the box. But can you find a way through? The backboard won't go, and that's what I'm talking about. Stick onto them the entire way. Don't give them any room to breathe, and that's going to be able to go off for a great chance, but nothing more than that.
Voidbound, or VB, which has, oh goodness, cultural implications as an Australian. If you know, you know. I'm not going to talk about it on broadcast right now. because we're not sponsored by them. Maybe sometime in the future.
I hope so.
Again, most of these references are probably going over this audience's head, but it's fine. As we look for a Vita possession. And it could be one of the last of game number 2. They've looked much improved, even if we've not seen too much after the opening goal. But VB, Voidbound, do have a chance to level things up late here. A keeper will grab hold. Will keep hold as well as we enter the final 30 seconds of game number 2. As it stands, the series will be level. We'll see if Voidbound have anything to say about it. Or Vita can hold on at the last.
Well, Voidbound's a scary team to have the ball in your hand, and it does look like they'll have 15 seconds before the final attack. They're going to try to see if they can squeeze in 2 more attacks at the very least here, but this is where you're kind of just trying to get it right now.
Oh!
Oh!
There's no way. 6 seconds left. I almost thought it might have been a bit of lag, but that ended up in the back of the net. Ty somehow finds the way through at the near post run. The keeper just didn't make contact. There was a defender there as well, and that ball squeezed between both of them, fell at the feet of Ty, who buried it in the back of the net, and we will have our first OT of Championship Sunday.
Well, what more do we want? These two teams that come out to play, and Vita, instead of just getting a very win in regulation, will say, easy as that one off the side, won't go. Oh, and that's going to be one that you look back for. But, you know, now goldfish mentality. Don't worry about that one. Just worry about the next attack. But great opportunity.
Oh, if they go on to lose this game, then Vita might be looking at that. The guy that didn't get a whole lot of anything there. I mean, he got hold of the ball, but it sprayed wide. The keeper was gone. Out of the net, out of the goal, but no save to make because, the shot off target, so it doesn't matter. But this is a great ball. Ty, the goal scorer, to send us to OT, sends us to game 3 with Voidbound. 2 games to the good.
Well, number 13 putting nightmares onto the side here of Vita. And what a job that was. He saw a one-on-one opportunity and he said, this is what I'm here for. This is why this team has me on this roster. I score goals. And what a job there to do it in overtime.
Sometimes it can be difficult as a striker to really have a true impact on the game if you're having to deal with another team that is constantly putting pressure on your net. If you're defending against a team that's holding possession, that's looking to find balls into your box, sometimes as a striker you feel a little bit helpless. And while he wasn't perhaps as involved as he would have wanted to be for the majority of that game, he got involved when it mattered, and he made his chances count.
You know, we have a striker who, in a confident position, was able to just sink that ball. It's not easy, especially when the lights are bright. Everybody watching, but Voidbound saying, we want some more, and we want at least one more game here. Can they find themselves the first team to make it on to the next round, or can Vita SC hold on a little bit longer?
Let's not forget this is a rematch.
Yes.
And I don't mean that we're playing rematch. I mean, these two teams have played previously. It was a little while ago, back in qualifier number 1. Voidbound did get the win from that particular series as well. It was a long time ago, so Vita have a chance to prove that things have changed since then. Although it's Voidbound with the first real true opportunity of game number 3, a game that has them holding 3 match points in their back pocket on their way through to the upper semis, as Vita are going to have to win 3 in a row to win in this best of 5. Oh, I think the keeper and Voidbound got a little bit lucky with that particular play.
You know, and the one thing that I'm looking for Vita here is, you know, you lose that game after leading the entire game. You have to find a way to just get right back onto the horse, come out here with the first goal. Don't put yourself in a position where you have your head down. Just say, hey, we know what the obstacles in front of us are, and right now it's Voidbound. Let's look to win each goal, each possession. That's all we can control. But an interception there, going to have the rally attack going back the other way. The boys in white looking for a big shot to come off the backboard. We'll just see it going back to midfield.
On the sideline, Ippy's got a chance to set up something from the backboard. It's a tight angle, but Dran can't keep hold of the ball, but his defensive line strong enough to come back, get a touch away, but it's straight down the other end to the dead ball line. Sihnez, an opportunity, but turns it back to 15, who can't get anything. The ball back to the keeper.
And, you know, Voidbound just seems so comfortable on their defensive side. It doesn't really feel what Vita is doing is just making them weary all too much. You're seeing them do a great job just intercepting a lot of these passes. They've been able to get into every lane and just taking away every opportunity on the offensive side they can ask for, as these back defenders just A-class tonight.
I will say it does seem to me like Vita are getting opportunities to push the issue. Voidbound are recovering well, yes, but I think it's more Vita's indecisiveness in positions like this, where it's tough for them, where they'll have space out on a wing, they'll have time to find a killer ball, but instead they just hesitate a little long. No hesitation with that particular decision. Spotted the Voidbound keeper out off his line and barring a couple pixels that meant the ball found the bar, and they would have had a go-ahead goal.
That one off the crossbar, you can just say nothing's going our way right now. We have to find a way to take the lid off the goalpost and, you know, get ourselves in here. And, you know, past halftime here, 2 minutes, 30 seconds. This one's still all level. These two teams are taking it to the wire, but Voidbound currently has the clutch team on their side. If it gets to the wire, they have to be the favorite, especially the way they've been playing, as that one will just have to go away.
Dran spotting the ground indicator quicker than I was then. Able to realize that was coming off the crossbar, but a chance here for Vita. And this is the spots they've had opportunities in before, and this time picked the perfect ball. Instead of a pass to a teammate, it was a shot to the near post, catching the Voidbound keeper by surprise and finding an opening goal of game number 3, and perhaps the first step in the long road to a reverse sweep.
You know, we talk about ego a lot, and I know when this game came out, we were all talking about blue lock so much, but that's an ego shot in my opinion. To see that there have almost an impossible angle and says, I got this. I'm gonna put this team on my back and we're gonna get ourselves going with the lead there. Is that shot going awry? Voidbound trying to retaliate quickly, but we'll just have to reset themselves. But whew, Vita just have to find a way to finish the game now.
Keeper has to run back to his own box quickly after every ball out because there's a risk of getting caught out. A chance like this, if this doesn't make contact with a teammate, then it could be a goal against if Vita are able to get a good shot on net. And it was the case that a teammate got the touch. Pflare with a chance to slow things down, but Ty's quick on his heels. It's a fantastic touch back. Keeps possession a little bit longer. An open shot in the box to the bottom corner. It's from the edge of the box, rather. But a threatening shot from Pflare. They just about came away with a second goal there. Did Vita FC, and they might have a chance, another opportunity, but this one gone begging as well.
Right there, you need to get the ball out of your foot quicker. It just sends that little hesitation like you're talking about. Get it to your teammate, start working, and find a way to get another goal here. One is not safe, you have to know that. You played great rematch for 5 minutes and 54 seconds. You have to get your way all the way through to a perfect 6. With a good cross here, we'll find Pflare, and we'll have some room to work with.
And that means time as well. Voidbound are sitting deep, sitting off the defense so far back towards their own net. They're just not stopping Vita from doing anything. And then in the end, it's a misplay from Vita that gives them a last chance opportunity. It's Ty again. This time the blade shot, a blade pass with the header. Though they've gotten a little too cute with it, a little too tippy-tappy. They've somehow kept hold of the ball. Ty, though, running out of stamina, and he's run out of time as Vita FC clinch game number 3. And they will start that long road to the reverse sweep.
Ladies and gentlemen, continue to watch in here, but, you know, Vita FC, you did it. You were able to complete a game. You should have gone this win in game 2. You had to get it here. Maybe they just say, we like to make it hard on ourselves. We want our back against the wall. Yes, if they lose this game here, they're not out of the tournament here. They go down to lowers, but why would you want to go down to lowers? Vita came in here as one of the top seeded teams before yesterday, and you know this team has just had some time to really stretch their legs and get going.
Yeah, you don't want to give up the momentum of the upper bracket. There's something to be said about making the final first and having to wait for the lower bracket to complete and all of that. But at the end of the day, you want to win whatever match is put in front of you. And right now, this is an absolute banger, potentially, here in the upper quarterfinals. Voidbound and Vita delivering, of course. If you're just joining us, Voidbound opened up with a a fairly impressive game number 1 and 2. It was a mercy rule and then a last gasp effort to force OT and a game 2 win to put them on triple match point. But Vita have since responded with a game win, with that solitary goal in game 3, enough to secure it. And they're going to look to put things on level footing to force a game number 5. But Voidbound, they want to end it here right now. They do not want to give Vita any kind of opportunity in a leveling game 5. They do not want to risk a reverse sweep. They want to shut things down nice and early and move on to the semis.
Well, this is where Vita has shown that they can handle a game 5. That's how they got in here yesterday. So if I had to put money on it, it potentially will be for them, especially when you come off of 2 straight wins. But, you know, that narrative is still yet to be told as we find ourselves here. Good pass inside the box. We'll be able to find 15, but that goes awry as they're going to try to see themselves just find an open space. Continue on the passing game.
Continuation ceased there. As Norman able to get in the way, and Ty all alone on the edge of the box looks for a little bit of a shimmy and a shake, but in the end he's overcooked it, or I guess overbaked it would have sounded cooler if I'd said that, but he's overcooked it there and got a little too fancy, a little too cute. And now chance down the other end, a blade shot incoming and not making its way into the back of the net. DirtyTauro, which I've been trying to say and struggling with all game long, makes the save there and keeps the score level at 0-0.
Well, and this is where he's really been one of the underlying stars here for Voidbound, the way he's been able to really keep some of the offense away here. As a good pass will not go. Felt that was a good enough chance for a shot. It will be pushed back the other way. Voidbound still on the defensive, but so far looking good. And this is where I feel is their best game here. It's just being able to cut things out from the opposition. It just seems like everybody on this team has just an act for being a ball hawk.
Sometimes you gotta, I think. Blow it. What a space there, I was gonna say. And they just let him move into it right up to the edge of the box. Completely free in the end. And that shot to the top corner enough to give his team the lead. Vita FC looking like the best team right here as Voidbound, with all of their success in shutting down a lot of attacks, they're letting some really dangerous ones through. Vita have finally found their shooting form.
Well, exactly. It's just starting to really look like Vita's coming into their own. I feel maybe they were just a tad bit nervous to start the day off, and you know they have just really started to compose themselves. But Vita's still making things look easy. That one almost going in off a small little tap.
Voidbound have got to be starting to feel a little bit here on the precipice of a reverse sweep capitulation. And they've capitulated here as well. It's a free header off the back wall. No defenders ready for it. And the keeper sprawling, hapless, unable to stop that shot as it came in. There's 15 on the far post. But Voidbound, they're suddenly under the pump. They're under so much pressure to stop a reverse sweep. They have to be thinking about that. It's got to be in the back of their minds. And they've got to get rid of it. Start play their game in this final 3 minutes of game number 4.
It just seems that they play the game with just so much relaxedness. But to that detriment, I feel the sense of urgency right now hasn't picked up from them. So we'll see if that switches out. A beautiful chance there, just cutting it away here for Voidbound as they're going to try to get something going. But the offense for themselves has been non-existent, while the defense still carrying them in this one, trying to see if they can change that, as that one just knocked away, will be picked up and can't go too far.
Oh, well worked there by Blanc. Keep hold of that one. And to enable his teammates to launch a counter-attack. Sihnez is going to pass it to the penalty spot, but a defender waiting. Voidbound thought for a second, unable to keep control of it, but Ty, an opportunity, and he shoots direct. It's off the inside, I think, of the post and out. Just about found his way through, this time off the backboard, and it's a dribbling ball to the near post, but Dran aware of it. My goodness, it looked like he was beaten there, but the cross, or the post rather, denied the goal just seconds ago, and then a golden opportunity there for Voidbound to bring it back by 1. He couldn't quite eke out that goal.
In game 1 and 2, it felt Voidbound could do no wrong. Everything they did, it just felt like there was someone in the correct spot. But you know, if that magic for themselves currently is dwindling, we'll see if they have anything left. But this is where Vita FC They look calm. Now it's just 69 seconds until the end of this one. Can they tie it up 2-2? Or will we see some alacrity action here from Voidbound to take us to OT?
Opts to go the safe route here, but doesn't get the ball back from Pflare. Might have fluffed his lines in that particular script. The story on the back post is Pflare with the header away. We'll see if Vita FC can hold on to this one, or if they might want to take control of the ball and look for an extra shot. No, it was the former, the decision made. And they are just taking so much time away. Voidbound right now struggling to get a touch, let alone an interception. And it might be Vita with a goal number 3. However, I think this is probably it. They need to shoot right here, do Voidbound. It needs to go in. It doesn't. They don't. And this game does seem to be over.
Well, final couple seconds left in this one. Ladies and gentlemen, this is main event. This is Championship Sunday. And we will see ourselves going to game number 5 of a best of 5. All the marbles on the table. Who gets it? But Vita FC, they look locked and they're loaded.
After game number 2, I thought this was going to be a sweep.
Same.
Vita have completely upset my particular outlook on how the game was going to go, how the series was going to go. They've completely upset my expectations after those opening 2 games. Yes, you could look at game number 2 and be like, well, they were leading for 99% of it, right? Until right in the last 6 seconds, I think Ty leveled the score, and then the early OT goal to take us into game number 3. However, I looked at that and I thought, there's just no way they can get their motivation going. There's no way they can pick themselves up from a loss like that. And I thought instead we might see another mercy rule in game number 3. Instead, they said, no, that's not actually how this series is going to go. We're going to go all the way to game 5. We're going to threaten a reverse sweep, an historic reverse sweep at that. And we're going to look to force our way to the semi-final. But this is it. Time will tell, and there isn't much time left. It is game 5, the finale of this upper bracket quarterfinal. A reverse sweep on the cards. Voidbound looking to deny a dream for Vita FC.
Well, Vita FC, this is the team that feels they can go for broke. They shouldn't be here right now. And, you know, Voidbound may feel a little more pressure saying, how could you all get reverse sweep early? But, you know, this is where you're saying we're playing every game, this in every minute of this one as best as we can. There's a good shot there early. Will come from 15. Will not be able to, but testing the keeper. As Ty looking for a teammate, but that one goes awry.
And it's these game 5s, these high-pressure situations that, whoa, you'll start to see errors from the keeper, but there's not too much to be said about that one. It's just a close-range shot. It's an absolute rocket to the far post, and Ty finds his first goal in a while, and it's an important one, just like his last, and it does give them the lead here in game 5. It does give them a step on Vita FC, and it does give them a chance to close out this series.
In his position right now, showing to really be a clutch player. I think Ty is starting to set himself up to be a player to watch for the rest of this weekend, but Voidbound still trying to get out of here in this round. But, you know, this is where now with the lead, I feel Vita FC's offense might start coming a little more desperate, but they might start coming with a big barrage of attacks.
It's a fantastic intercept from Norman. He's pushed the ball forward as well. It's a driving run and releases Ty. Had a shot, but to the far post, a little bit easier to react to if you're the keeper than those near post slingers. However, they do retain possession after a quick back and forth. We'll see if this play on the wing can make anything. Unfortunately, just held onto the ball for too long. Pflare able to come in, nip it away, but he can't keep possession. A sliding tackle denied, and at second, though, able to make contact with the ball. Vita will keep calm. They'll, look, they're not going to be complacent, that's for sure. They're a goal down, but they are locked in on defense, it feels. The concentration high, and despite getting beaten a couple times on the wing, they're able to keep calm and make the interception when it counts. But another shot incoming. This one low to the near post. The keeper went the right way, but it was just a little bit too delayed.
Yeah, and Cennix just coming in. Beautiful shot. That's something to be able to push this lead forward. Unfortunately here, Vita FC now looking down the barrel with 350 remaining. And, you know, Munts, this is now into dangerous territory. It's hard to play perfect for 3 games straight. And it's seeing if they can play now 4 minutes perfectly for the rest of this one.
Yeah, it's why best of 5 reverse sweeps and best of 7 reverse sweeps in other games are so difficult. Like you said, perfection for multiple games in a row is difficult. And while they've not been perfect here in game number 5, Vita FC are still well and truly in the competition. They take advantage of some hesitance on defense here. The perfect touch and the finish underneath the goalkeeper, who was completely bamboozled at that point. Voidbound can't take time off the clock. It's too risky. They need to push for another goal, or Vita FC might just come storming back.
Well, this is where Vita FC, you see a little shimmer of light. Keep picking away until that becomes an entire spotlight where you're going to see yourself in the middle of it. But don't rush right now. You're still a lot of time, but understand that, you know, you've worked small to get big opportunities.
Great interception there from Sihnez. Ran a look to find him as well. A little bit of a reward for that particular intercept. I thought that was an early ball. Norman, I think, had the momentum to cut it out, but it turned back at the last moment. But does make good on that interception just moments later, and he's released his winger as well. Tie on the far post, but I think it's going to be a touch first, a direct shot. Perhaps trying to look to take Dran off guard, but he wasn't. He was there ready for it. The blade over the defender, or the pop rather. I thought he was going to opt for the shot, but he didn't. It would have been a surprise. He was so far out. But right now, the midfield is completely non-existent. We're going wing to wing and shot for shot, and Dran is making save after save.
Well, unfortunately for him, he's going to have to be the best player on Vita FC for the rest of this game. He cannot allow another goal to go through him, and he's stepping up to the plate here, but this offense, got to help him out. He's done a great job, but one more. Put the pressure on Voidbound. That will not be able to go anywhere. Cut quickly as a retaliation counter. No one in net.
Didn't realize. Has the keeper come out, or have we had a disconnect, as is the nature of the game at this point in its development cycle?
Yeah,
replay not giving us much info. I'm not sure what's happened. We'll see. Dran is on the pitch, so guess opted to come out and look to push the issue, but I can't help but feel it was a little bit too early to be making plays like that. They were punished for it, but honestly, I don't think we have the info to really speculate accurately on what might have gone wrong there. All we know is that it did, and Voidbound up to a 2-goal lead once more, and Vita FC with their backs against the wall.
This is where backs against the wall, I think, is an understatement, and this team is in a huge hole, and they're 6 feet, but I feel right now for Dran, you kind of look at that and say, all right, you got me sleeping. You caught me trying to be too aggressive, and I talked about desperation earlier. You said it. There's no need there, especially just down by a goal and so much time left on the clock, understandably in the last couple seconds, but now they're fighting back for a 2-goal lead. It's not impossible, but it's almost improbable.
Yeah, a minute left. It's tough. Voidbound can look to milk every second when they get hold of the ball, but they don't have hold of it right now. It's a far post shot, and we are back to within 1. Vita FC, a counterattack for the ages. This was wonderfully worked, and once again, Pflare is coming up big and quickly standing up as a player to watch, as an impressive player with the clutch gene as well, scoring big goals and having a big impact all over the pitch. But right now, they do need goals. They need them quick. 45 seconds remaining.
And they have to play like they have 2 possessions potentially. Expect around 15 to 20 seconds to be taken away here from Voidbound. This team does such a good job of keeping possession on their side, but you want to work quick. And now with 30 seconds, you don't have time here to dilly-dally.
Not at all. They do have a chance here. Quick switch. Give 15 some space. He's had some big plays as well. That header comes out and somehow squeezes past the deep Vita player. The clock is ticking. 15 on the ball and just under 15 on the clock. The final 10 now. They're looking for one final attack. What they hope to be their penultimate goal to bring us back level. Force OT. That particular ball's gone wide. lppy gets the touch to it. Secures Voidbound's 3rd game win and the series win, the first of the day, and the series win that will take them through to the semifinals.
Well, we will have to wait a little longer for our first reverse sweep, but a team in Voidbound having to at least be able to sigh a breath of relief. Heck of a game there for them to be able to close that out. That's a championship mentality you need to have here, and they showed early when things get tough, they get going. They don't just stay behind. Heck of a win there overall from Voidbound, but you know, Vita, good try. Work off through the lower bracket now.
Yeah, I mean, Vita can be very proud of that performance.
Yes.
They started very slow and that cost them. Outside of that opening game, it was very even. Let's not forget that they had a win stolen from them. Just 6 seconds left on the clock and the lead in their pocket. And it was stolen by 2 quick tie goals. But they've got this thing that I'm pretty sure it's not a real word, but comeback ability. And they just looked like they were never quite down and never quite out. And so they can look to head down to the lower bracket and hope to make a bit of an underdog run through that long gauntlet of games. And who knows, perhaps I'll see Voidbound again in the final, which would be their 3rd series against them in this tournament as a whole. But for now, Voidbound still firmly on top, looking good, looking strong, and they'll look to carry that momentum into the upper bracket semifinals. And we're going to take a quick break. We're going to figure out who's on next, and we're going to get more Rematch onto your screen, so don't go anywhere or go get a drink. Keep hydrated. It's warm at the moment, but do it quick. Come back, and we'll be back after this break.